It was raining hard the night Tushar left the office late. He was already stressed. The last bus home usually left at 11:30, and if he missed it, he'd be stuck. So he ran. And somehow, he made it. He jumped onto the bus just before the doors closed. Inside, it was almost completely empty. Just a few flickering lights, the hum of the engine, and rain hitting the windows. He took his usual window seat, leaned his head against the cold glass, and within minutes, he drifted off. But 2 minutes later, he opened his eyes, and the bus was full, packed. People standing in the aisle, silent faces, pale, motionless faces, clothes that looked untouched by the rain outside. Tushar sat up straight. There hadn't been a single stop. The bus didn't slow down. So where did all these people come from? He blinked. Maybe he was just exhausted. He closed his eyes again. A few seconds passed. When he opened them, the bus was empty. Completely empty. No one. Not a single passenger. That's when he smelled it. Cigarette smoke. Thick. Fresh. He slowly turned his head toward the right side window seat. An old man was sitting there, staring straight ahead. The man looked straight ahead and said calmly, "I've been riding this bus every night for 30 years, and after midnight, no living person ever gets on." He paused. Then he told Tushar about something that happened a year ago. A man got on the bus. He leaned in close and whispered, "You're not supposed to be here." And then, before the bus even stopped, he was gone, vanished. Tushar tried to ignore the story, but something inside him tightened. The bus didn't feel the same anymore. A few moments later, the old man was gone. No movement, no sound, just gone. Tushar's heart started pounding. That's when he noticed someone sitting in the front row, a man quietly reading a newspaper. He hadn't seen him get on. The man slowly lowered the paper, and Tushar froze. His face was crushed, bloody, twisted in ways a face shouldn't twist. Tushar screamed. But in the very next second, the same man was standing behind him, completely normal. No blood, no injuries, just staring at him, calm. And then he said, "What happened, bro? Did you scare? Strange things happen on this bus at night. Whatever you saw, forget it. Don't stay here." Or else, he didn't finish the sentence. Tushar backed away. He walked toward the back to grab some water, and when he came back, the man was gone. Then a voice came from the bus door. "I'm right here." Tushar turned, and the man who had been standing in front of him jumped off the moving bus. The bus didn't slow down, didn't stop. Tushar couldn't take it anymore. At the very next stop, he jumped off too. He hit the wet pavement hard and stumbled into the rain, breathing fast, heart racing. He turned to look at the bus as it drove away, and then the reality of that bus dawned on him. It looked burned, crushed, like it had been in a terrible accident years ago. The windows were cracked, the metal was twisted, and inside, the passengers weren't alive. Their faces were pale, still, watching him. Through one of the broken windows, the old man and the newspaper man were smiling, slowly. The bus disappeared into the darkness, and Tushar stood there in the rain, unable to breathe. He thought it was over. He thought he was safe. But then, he felt something in his pocket. He reached inside and pulled out a bus ticket. The date printed on it was today, but the year said 1996, and on the corner of the ticket, there were fresh blood stains, still wet. A sudden gust of wind tore through the empty road. A ripped newspaper page flew across the pavement and wrapped itself around Tushar's legs. He froze. Slowly, he bent down and picked it up. The headline read, "30 years ago tonight, 30 passengers killed in last bus tragedy." Below the headline was a list of the dead, name after name after name. And then, the last name on the list, Tushar Sharma. He stopped breathing. The date of the accident was tonight's date, exactly 30 years ago. Then, Tushar's eyes snapped open. He hadn't gotten off the bus at all. He was still sitting in the same seat. Tushar slowly rolled up the sleeve of his shirt. His skin was burned, charred, that thin wisps of smoke rising from it. And that too had been burnt to ashes along with that bus. People later said that night wasn't random. The rain, the timing, the last bus, none of it was coincidence. Exactly 30 years earlier, on that same date, at nearly the same time, a bus on that very route had collided with a truck and burst into flames. 30 people were killed, 25 were critically injured. That accident was reported on February 25, 1996. The article still exists in the Los Angeles Times archives. That part is real. But what isn't in the newspaper is what locals began whispering about years later. According to them, every year on that same night, the last bus runs again. Not to finish its route, but to finish something else. They say it searches for one more passenger, one more name to add to the list. And if you happen to board that bus after midnight, you were never just a commuter, you were chosen. And this year, that passenger was Tushar. But if you think this was disturbing, wait until you hear about a railway depot that remained closed for 42 years, all because of one ghost. And to this day, it's still called one of the most haunted railway depots in India. Click here if you're ready.